So welcome back to More Than a Refresh, the T3D sessions. Today we have Andrew Bolton. No, not, I don't know. Are you related to that old singer from the 80s?
I hope I am because I would love to get invited to one of the parties.
Well, he's the CEO of Tech Rescue. And when I heard the name, I actually misunderstood what they're doing. They're actually doing some really good stuff here, Andrew. So introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Andrew Bolton. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Tech Rescue. Simply, we're a 24-hour technical support company. Remember those times you call somebody and you just like to get somebody on the phone to yell at and be like, "Hey, I need help." Yeah, hi. That's what we do.
Yeah, but you mentioned in our pre-interview that there's a little bit more to it, right? It was more than just, hey, Microsoft screwed me over again. There's a little bit more to it. So,
Well, I was just giving you the simple overview. Long story short, in the way the world has gone, every year progressing in technology, we're progressing 5 years. Now, most of us can surf this wave, but may I remind you that technology started back in a time where, really and truly, we had these punch cards, believe it or not. And I was displaying one not too long ago, and my mother must have taken it with her to another present. Nope, nope, I have it. Believe it or not, once upon a time, technology started off like this. Ta-da! These are punch cards. Think of these by the thousands. Now, that's this. In that time span, 80 million Americans have gotten left behind. 14 million of them do not have access to any way of social services in terms of the healthcare, in terms of hospitals, having an ability to talk to a doctor, or just have somebody bring them to a doctor. Technology has allowed us to be able to connect to people, and through our services, we can do all of that, from get you to a hospital, to a doctor, and have your prescriptions delivered right to you from your own home in your pajamas.
so before we jump deep into that, because I think it's a very valuable service you're offering, I wanted to address your punch cards versus your phone. Your metaphor is not incorrect, but to give people an even, I think, a deeper understanding is that, yeah, the phone that we're using today is faster than the computer I was using in 92. More importantly,
I
the
don't have one.
phone that I'm using today, I have a Samsung Ultra 25. Okay. That phone is more powerful by far than, than what we used to get on the moon.
So this is number 5,769. So there were 5,000 of these cards to make one compute statement.
Well, at least they enumerated them. Um, all right, so let's talk about this lack of healthcare because as you know, I'm rural. Okay, so I'm off grid Montana. Now I'm not that rural. I've got Starlink, and I'm only 45 minutes from a city. But there are people out here that are within 20 minutes of me that meet your criteria. So how is it that you had mentioned the pre-interview, someone calls and says, "Hey, I need a doctor's appointment." Right? How do you get Uber out there within a reasonable situation, right? Because a lot of these places, I mean, UPS is union, so if they smell a snowflake fart, they won't deliver for me.
So starting off in orbit, coming down to Earth, if you have the ability to make a phone call, you have the ability to get in touch with somebody. So that's our
Sure.
first connectional link. So Wi-Fi data or direct signal, you have the ability to get in touch. Second, all phones, even satellite phones, have GPS tracking on them. So
That's true.
within about what they say is 3 to 5 meters within a city, and within 30 meters of rural areas,
Right.
they can get accuracy. Now, as we all know, conspiracy theory or not, there's more drones going up in the air and more signals getting pinged. So guess what? Those meters are getting smaller and smaller.
Sure.
So in reality, our accuracy is getting dead scary accurate. That takes us down to about the stratosphere. Now, in terms of what we're able to do, it depends on what you need to have done. Now, if you live in an area that requires, let's say, ranger services, then those are going to be long-term phone calls that need to get made. And I would highly suggest that there be a pre-established program that we could help someone set up. But coming back now into the troposphere, If you have Wi-Fi and you have the ability to get an Uber, let's say in your areas, Uber delivery, we can schedule an appointment through ZocDoc or your insurance or United Healthcare or whatever insurance provider most people have. Because if you are working W-2 form, you have a healthcare provider. If you're 1099, you may have, let's say, a savings account, but you may still need to find a doctor. Many services online provide many doctors with either non-insurance or insurance lists. From there, we can schedule an appointment. Because we have HIPAA compliance and our call centers meet all the standard federal regulations, we can get you an appointment with whatever doctor you need that, let's say you need to get to all the way across country. Well, you schedule a doctor's appointment through us. We can then schedule an Uber to pick you up. We can schedule your airline tickets, your Uber to pick up from to and from airport and hotel, and then send to doctor. It's a all it is logistics. And what made the impossible possible is the Wi-Fi and data network we have established over the past 60 years. We have become so connected technologically, but we have become so disconnected from each other that we don't even understand that 16 million people do not have the ability, even with all this surrounding them, to get help. And in America, a prime example of might and power of capitalism and healthcare, we have 16 million people that we've just discarded. I'm sorry, unacceptable, unacceptable.
Well, and I agree with you. And there's a couple of interesting things that you brought up there that I won't take too much of your time from. But number one, with the phone, uh, you're correct with the Starlink and everything else with the satellites. But now, if you have a modern provider, I don't know about the tier 2 or tier 3 providers, but if you're running Verizon, T-Mobile, or AT&T, you don't even need a cell signal. If you've got a clear view of the sky, you can get a text out because they'll send it via their satellites, right? So that's number one. And that's a relatively new thing. And you can actually thank everyone that the gentleman that everybody likes to hate now, which is Elon Musk, for that. But the uninsured portion that you brought up, which I found interesting, healthcare, of course, is a lot of people. It doesn't matter what your political spectrum, right?
I'm
There's
sorry. I'm sorry. It's
it's
just
broken,
this is a topic that blankets everyone.
right? And what I was going to bring up there was insurance. I have insurance. I have good insurance. Okay. I go to the doctor, and if I need, let's say, blood work, because I'm in my 50s, so they want blood work every once in a while. By the time I go to the doctor, pay my copay, pay my lab fees, get my blood work, go back to the doctor, I've spent $300, $400, not including my time.
Yeah.
I can go to something like Jason Health, get a full panel for $95. I pay it right there. I just show up. They schedule me. There's no waiting. They work with the local clinics. I go and I get my blood work, and they email me a private link to get my results because they don't have to deal with the insurance company. So I get a huge discount.
It's always the middle. It's always the middle that you have this. And for us, we have two flat rates. We have a monthly service at $34.99 or an annual fee at $380. And call us as much as you want. You have problems. Listen, the world runs 24 hours a day. The idea of 9 to 5 service hours, problems don't happen conveniently on
No,
hours.
don't.
They don't. If any kid in any Gen X or Gen Z has been to college, which 83% of us have, all right, the writing lab is closed at the worst time. It's closed at the worst time. We're not. We're 24 hours a day.
So you're essentially a health concierge.
We're a life concierge service because at this point, everything from apparently we need our blenders to be Bluetooth. We need our microwaves to be Bluetooth. We need to have our ovens talk to us for some strange reason.
Okay, so that's a part I missed. So and I was actually confused by this because of the name of the company, Tech Rescue. So you're willing to, it's not just healthcare. You're like, I've got one of these smart fridges, which is really as dumb as it's dumb. Keep it PG-13. It's dumb, right? I can't figure it out. And I can call you and say, "Hey, can you help me? Tell me why my fridge isn't keeping my shit cold. It's got this screen on it."
Long story short, if it's got a screen to it and it connects to Bluetooth, we touch it because I didn't do this. You didn't do this, but apparently everybody with their wallet decided that we need our houses to talk to us. So we need to have our phone while we're 17,000 miles away. We need to have our lights dimmed. We need to have the sprinklers turned on. We need to have the oven set. We need to have the refrigerator double checked. We need to have all these things. We all realize that as we connect everything and everything gets connected, what happens when all the things go down?
Well,
But that's
agreed,
not the
which is
point.
why I live off grid in Montana, right? I mean,
That's why I was giving you the little nod. I was giving you a little wink, wink on that one. But the point being is because everyone around the world decided with their wallet to make things talk to each other, I exist.
it's interesting, and I'm gonna close out with this. What people forget is the greatest cost to safety and convenience is freedom. And with that, this has been another More Than a Refresh, the T3D sessions with Andrew Bolton of Tech Rescue. It's not just health concierge, it's life concierge. Give them a check.